But as a player, as an athlete, the things that I'm starting to find out is really bothering me. I was paying attention. I had been watching Jeff Teague's podcast. Jeff Teague, if you don't know who he is, he's probably one of the funniest podcast people when we talk about NBA or ex-NBA player podcast. One of the things that Teague has always been a part of is he's always been a part of like every major story. I don't understand how, but he's been a part of every major story. And one of the things that he said, and I've heard this before, not from him, I believe Gil Zarina talked about it at one point as well. I didn't understand that these things were accurate, but this is the reason why I like ex-players having podcasts, because they get you a inside look into things that you wouldn't otherwise know, right? And Teague talked about his time on the team and coming to a team and how he was balling out. And he was averaging like 20, he was doing what he was supposed to do. But when he went to a certain team, they didn't want him playing that way. They understood how good he was. They understood that he could change some things. They understood that there were certain shots and certain things that he could make. Yet, one of the things that they didn't want him doing was taking away shots or taking away plays from other players, other star players that they had on their team. Okay, it was a kid out in Miami that talked about playing with the big three, Bron, Chris Bosh, and Dwayne Wade. And he comes down, he does everything that he's supposed to do. He throws up a floater, and Coach Spo pulls him to the side and is like, hey, what are you doing? He's like, I'm making a shot. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm playing. I'm hooping. And Spo is like, you see that over there? That's LeBron James, future Hall of Famer, one of the greatest to ever play this game. That guy over there, that's Mr. Dwayne Wade, the mayor of South Beach. You see that? That's Chris Bosh. Who is that right there? And he's like, oh, that's Ray Allen. Right. The leading at the time three-point shooter in NBA all time. We don't pay them this money to watch you play. We don't have them here to watch you play. Get them the ball and go sit in the corner. And that bothered me. As an athlete, as someone who believes in the purity of the game, as someone that believes when you have the best shot, you take it. It doesn't matter if it's the first guy, if it's the number one option from being a starter, or if it's the 12th guy on the bench. If you have the open shot and it is a good shot and it is within the offense, you take it. If you want to win, going back to my point about franchises and people not wanting to win, if you want to win, you take that shot. But you have to understand everything is in business. Now, I haven't heard these things happening in the NFL. I believe they happen in a totally different way. But because the NFL or football in general is the ultimate team sport, you got to have a good center to be able to hike it to the Pro Bowl quarterback, to be able to throw it to the Pro Bowl wide receiver, to be able to get on defense where that Pro Bowl defensive line and that Pro Bowl linebacker and those Pro Bowl cornerbacks and that Pro Bowl safety is able to make play. Like, it takes everybody, and that future Hall of Fame head coach you have to have one to call the right plays to put people in the right positions. Like, with the NFL or with football being the ultimate team sport, I still believe some of the owners don't care about winning. But at least if Sam Darnold throws it to a replacement tight end who came in just because somebody just got injured and they've never had a snap in the game in the past 2 years, the reason he can throw it to that person and it not be frowned upon is because it's the ultimate team sport. We're trying to get a first down, which is going to lead to a touchdown, which is going to lead to wins, which is going to lead to the playoffs, which is going to lead ultimately to the Super Bowl. Do what you have to do to make that happen. Maybe it's because the game is a bit more violent. I'll take that. But I still haven't seen the things that I'm coming across when it comes to the NBA. But again, it's making me realize that professional sports, at least American professional sports, is all about the entertainment aspect. Now, I understand that if you give or you put an investment in on something, You expect a return on that investment. Jeff Teague was talking about how he went through and the coach literally pulled him to the side and started going through each player's salary. Hey, man, that man makes $14 million. That man right there, he makes $10 million. That man right there makes $9 million. And you're on a rookie deal, or you're on a 10-day contract where we're paying you $1 million or we're paying you $350,000. The hooper in me is like, okay, yeah, you paying me $350,000, but you gotta steal. I can do that. I can make the difference on this team. I can give the added oomph that they're looking for. But again, the coach is like, yeah, we don't pay them that to watch you hoop. We don't pay you $350,000 to hoop. We pay you $350,000 to be here for support, to clap, to get up when the starters come over, and to stand over in that corner to be ready for the kick out if they get cinco team. What is five? Quintuplets? Is that what it is? No. Let me see. A duo, a trio, triplets, triple team, quadruple team. Is it sync duplet team? I don't know. But the point is, that is the only time that they're going to throw you the ball. And then you need to hold it until they get open for you to pass it back, right? In most cases, for NBA teams, it's not a big deal because the people that they are paying this big money to are worth it. When we talk about, I'm a Thunder fan from Oklahoma, don't get it twisted, defended champs. When we talk about somebody like a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he shows up in clutch moments. He's constantly putting great output into the game, giving great energy, and they're paying him handsomely for it. So the guy that's 12th man on the bench that we just grabbed from the G League for a 10-day contract, like, yeah, man. But the thing that's crazy with the Thunder is that our entire bench probably could start somewhere else. Cason Wallace, AJ Mitchell, Cade Cunningham that we just got that I think is going to be a great addition. Alex Caruso. Like, these people that we have could be big pieces on a whole nother squad. Yet they're playing backup or second fiddle to Shai, and rightly so. Me personally, I don't want to be watching them play without watching Shai. But this is still very surprising to me because, again, the hooper in me, the person in me, the dog in me, the competitor in me says that when I come here, when we speak on sports, the best player plays. The best cohesiveness. They always love to talk about team chemistry. The best team chemistry wins in the starting rotation. Oh, this guy plays with this guy well. I know that this guy's going to get this guy the ball. I know that this guy's going to be able to move without the ball. He's a great rebounder. So this core group of 5 people should be out there on the floor. I understand that the person that's 6th or 7th on the bench is a better shooter than the person that we have 3rd or 4th on the starting lineup. But I don't need them on the floor right now because they're going to take shots away or force things that don't need to be forced. Basketball-wise, basketball IQ-wise, yeah, that makes perfect sense. But when you really start getting into it and you understand that it's all about the business, that it's all about the dollar, that it's all about the people that are selling those tickets, it sucks being a basketball fan. Now, I know what you're going to say. If you want to watch real basketball, go watch college. If you want to watch real basketball, go watch, high school or whatever. Maybe go watch the G League, right? Because that's real basketball. But the NBA, while I love the NBA and I'm pleasantly entertained by the NBA every time I watch, not just because my Thunder are former champions, I had to say that again, but the NBA at one point in time, obviously, was an aspiration of mine. And so I just naturally grew to basketball and I love it. But as I am preparing my child to be able to go to the league, whether that be the NBA or the NFL, I'm not liking the way that a lot of these things are. The advantages that people have because they have access, right? They always say those that have access. The funny thing is, a lot of people that are in the NBA now are people who had the private training, are people who had the access, are people whose parents are coaches and people who work in facilities in the NBA, are people who were in the NBA, so they have access to the best trainers and they know what to do. Some people are going to say this is an excuse. Can people still come up out the mud? Yes, people can still come up out the mud. But what do you hear a lot of these people backgrounds? What do you hear where they went to high school at? Oh, they went to a prep school. They went to a prep college. Why? Because that is where the money is. That is where they can get access, the training facilities, the good, playing good, getting the national exposure. All of those people, none of those kids do you hardly ever hear about going to a public school. And why is that? Sure, some white person winded up coming out and seeing somebody hooping on a public team and said, hey, I'll pay for your scholarship. I'll pay for everything. You just need to come on and just help us win as a booster. We'll just help us win this championship, and your visibility and everything else will be the same. There are plenty of people that hoop in the Rucker that are better than Jordan, that are better than Bron, that are better than Anthony Edwards, that are better than these people out here. Steph Curry, there might be a shooter out there better than Steph Curry. I mean, some would argue Caitlin Clark is very close, but these people that are out there, because they don't have access, are not in a league or they didn't make it. And so that then further goes to, it's about the dollar. You mean to tell me that I can't get proper training and I can't get proper medical attention and I can't get proper I don't know I can't have these things because I don't have the access? I mean, we live in a class, a society where people are constantly placed in classes, and that is a lot more than just trying to figure out what we have in America. That has a lot to do with, or telling, that is very telling of what people can do, what they are able to see. Again, there are plenty of people who have had success coming up out the mud, getting it their own, and just a desire to win and make it. But those stories, while very inspirational, are few and far in between. The story that is more common is the kid that went to the private school, that grew up in the suburbs, and they were able to make it out and have the access and have the connections. Even some of your favorite NBA players or favorite NFL players grew up in that type of environment. Even if in high school they may have went to a public high school, but when they got to college or when they were headed towards college, or even while they were in that public high school, they had the access to be able to be what and who they are. No hate. It's just the fact. The training sessions, right? The support system for the training sessions, being able to pay the trainer to come over and just get the kid while they work on other things, having access to the colleges up the street. And hey, I know your dad. Yeah, you can come and hoop with us. It sucks. The playing field is not level. And this is more true for the realization when these people go into the NBA and they find out that it's not all it's cracked up to be. Like I said, a father of an athlete at this current moment, and a very good athlete, I might add. And if y'all don't believe me, go and subscribe to the B Kids channel. That is B.KIDZ. And I have a few videos of my son up there doing what he does best, and that's showing out. He's like that for real. So he has the talent, but does he have the access? He has the determination. He has a supportive father and someone who is going to be out there with him every step of the way. He's like this because we as a unit go and do work in the summer, not paying anybody, but getting out there in the mud and in the ground and doing it ourselves, going to the community gyms and practicing shooting, spending hours in the gym, practicing shooting and dribble moves and reading a defense. This is what we're doing. This is what I'm doing with my free time. But it would be much easier if we had the cash to just be like, hey, you know what you're supposed to do at 5:30, drop them off, and hey, we'll be back. But to find out that these things live on even through the NBA, again, the NBA is a business. It is its own entity. As a matter of fact, the NBA is damn near its own world when we really think about it. Like there's this giant sphere, this giant bubble that is the NBA, and they commission and govern everything inside that bubble with little interference from the outside world. So they too have a class, a societal hierarchy. There are people in the NBA making money that really probably, like, why are y'all paying them this much money? Why? What's just because you have it? Yet there are people that come in there, do what they do, show that they clearly can do what they need to do. And because you're paying other people on the roster X amount of dollars, and their face is the face that is selling the tickets. Like, I get the Bron thing, right? Because Bron isn't just selling tickets in LA. Bron is selling tickets for the NBA. Bron is one that he is the face of the NBA and will be probably still the face once he lives, at least for a couple years. And he is the one that has essentially caked for the NBA and carried it through some of his hardest times. So Bron getting that love, I'm okay with that. Steph, the greatest shooter of all time, getting that love, I'm okay with that. Wembanyama, he hasn't really earned it yet, but hey. But anybody else? Draymond? Even, I would even say as a fan of the Thunder, even a J-Dub, the only one that I believe deserves that type of autonomy. The only person that deserves that type of autonomy is Shea. Everybody else, hey man, and that's the reason why. Let me point this out. That's the reason why the Thunder are as good as they are. That's the reason why the Spurs were as good as they were. You knew that Timmy D was the team. You knew that Timmy D was the Spurs. But it was Manu. It was Tony. It was the ones that could fill the gap. Bruce Bowen. Those were the ones that got to be who they were. Hey, man, Tim ain't open. Fine, I'm going to take this three. Oh, he ain't open. Well, let's work it around here until he does get open. That's when I felt basketball, the NBA, professional sports were pure. Now I'm getting all these stories, and I'm from the people that were actually in this locker rooms and understand that there are politics in everything, guys. We know this. Everything has politics. No matter where you go, no matter what you do, no matter who you are, there are politics in everything. Everybody has a boss. Everybody has somebody that they have to come under, even those in politics. So I'm not saying that this is something that I'm surprised to see. But when we talk about sports, guys, when we talk about the pureness of sports, not daddy ball, not oh yeah, that's his nephew or that's his guy's son, so he not none of that. I believe my son has earned each and everything that he has gotten. He came in as a running back for his team and wound up becoming the quarterback because of his ability. Yes, I was the coach, but I didn't make that decision. They came to me. Why? Because of his ability. But you mean to tell me that doesn't matter when they get to the pros? Then what's the point? We play the sport because we love the sport, right? And in a lot of cases, that love for the sport and the dedication that we put in grows into being a lifestyle, or grows into being something that you could eat off of. And I'd be damned if I went through the broken bones and playing through injuries and sacrificing in a lot of players' cases their life to come and sit on the bench because you pay somebody $14 million. Maybe I'm tripping. Why don't y'all tell me? Let me know if I'm tripping. Let me know if that's just the way it is. Let me know if this is things that you have noticed, or maybe things that you have put into question as you see these things moving forward. But as I said, man, this is crazy, and I had no idea that money messes up everything. Money messes up everything, but it's when you believe in sports, when you believe in the purity of sports, when you believe that the best man should always be the person on the floor or on the field, the best guys, hearing stuff like it's a bit heartbreaking, man. It's a bit heartbreaking.